Good afternoon and welcome to this info session for Indiana State University. My name is Tiffany Powell and I will serve as your session facilitator for this afternoon. And on behalf of the Indiana Association of College Admissions Counseling and StriveScan, we welcome you to this session. We hope that you will find the session to be informative. Before I turn you over to our presenter for the hour, I will need to go over a couple of housekeeping items with you just real quick. So if you will bear with me while I share my screen. Okay, so to ask a question, you want to use the Q&A button. Type your question in there and then the presenters will get to the questions during their Q&A portion. Your camera and your microphone will be turned off. So again, it's very important. If you have a question or a comment, please put it in our Q&A box. Also, this is not the end. This is a course, a session within a program of other sessions. So feel free to go to our website to sign up for more sessions. We will continue with sessions through Thursday of this week, and then we will pick up again Monday through Thursday of next week with more colleges and universities providing information on who they are and what they are about. You can find the schedule of upcoming sessions on our website, inacac.org/virtual college exploration. Not only that, you can find the recordings of not only this session, but the past sessions and future sessions once our program has concluded. You will find those recorded sessions on our website as well. So without further ado, I will turn you over to Indiana State University.
Thank you. All right. Hello, everybody, and thank you for kind of tuning in to learn a little bit more about Indiana State. My name is Wyatt Lawson, and I serve as our admissions event coordinator here in the Office of Admissions, which means that I run all of our campus visits. So I'm excited to kind of talk a little bit more about Indiana State. I am a state alum, so you can, I'll build in some of the student experience as I'm kind of talking, but after I give my short presentation, we'll actually invite some of our students in here to talk to you all. So we'll lead our Q&A session with some live students. I have some questions prepared for them, but if you have some specific questions, we will utilize that Q&A button a little bit later. So I'll go ahead and get started with the presentation. It shouldn't take any more than about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll get our students in here. To talk generally about Indiana State, we are a four-year public institution in Terre Haute, Indiana. So we're right on the border of Illinois, about midway through the state. We do have about 10,800 students. So when I say mid-sized campus, I really mean a small mid-sized campus. We don't have a ton of students on campus with us, but we do have that 10,800 range. One of our students in office explained it really well. Our campus is big enough to where you're going to be able to see new faces every day, but it's not too big to where you're swimming amongst a ton of other students. So you can still make a pretty core group of friends, and you'll see those friends as you kind of walk around campus. We do have 79% of our classes taught by full-time faculty, which means that our class sizes are usually around 25 to 30, and most of them are being taught by people within your program. We have a 21-to-1 faculty-student ratio, so a lot of our students have some good one-on-one time with the faculty and have an opportunity to kind of create a relationship with them. Our campus isn't super large. We are located right downtown Terre Haute. We're about 435 acres, which is really, we're about an 8 block by 8 block square. So we're not huge. We're super park-like, so as you're walking around campus, you're not walking across a bunch of busy roads or through a community. It's just Indiana State's campus. We're actually named Tree Campus USA a few years, so we have lots of trees. Our landscapers do a really good job, so it does kind of look like a park. We do have 1,000 students in our honors college as part of one of the 7 colleges we offer here at Indiana State. And I'll talk a little bit more about academics in just a moment. We were created in 1865. We started as Indiana State Normal School, which meant that we began educating educators. So we brought people from all over the state of Indiana to Terre Haute to teach them how to teach in their communities, and then we sent them all back out, which is kind of cool. So we have our ground or our roots in education, but we've kind of branched out from there with 5 different academic colleges that make up some of our programs. We do represent all 50 states and about 60 different countries. We're about 70% Indiana, so a lot of our students are coming from the state of Indiana, but we have quite a few students that come over from Illinois since we're so close on the border. And we have a lot of students that come from all over the place as well, which is kind of cool. Our student demographic breakdown is we are a predominantly white institution. We have about 30% of our students who identify as students of color. The biggest population within that 30% is our Black and African American students that serve about 20% of that 30. Another big part of being an Indiana State student is experiencing hands-on learning in the classroom. We are super connected with our community, and that brings a lot of really cool opportunities to have some experiential learning and actually put into practice what you're being taught in your class. And a lot of our faculty members find themselves on our campus to do so. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit as well. All right, I do want to take a little bit of time to talk about our majors. You'll hear from two different students in two different programs here in a minute. Like I said, I am an Indiana State alum. I have my degree in fine arts, so I was a painter, digital artist. But we have over 100 programs. You can see the planes on the screen right now. We do have an aviation program that is pretty cool. We have our 5 different academic colleges. So we have a College of Arts and Sciences, which is our largest college on campus, being it both arts and sciences. That's a pretty broad topic. We have our College of Education. We have our College of Technology, our College of Health and Human Services, and our Scott College of Business. So those are our 5 academic colleges. You saw on the screen before that we have 7 colleges. We also offer our honors college and a place we call University College, which is actually where all of our first-year students are for advising. So when you come to Indiana State, you have an advisor in one stable building that kind of stays for your entire year, and they kind of help graduate you on to your sophomore year into your program. So lots of programs. As you're looking at what exactly you want to study, like I said, we got tons of options, but if you're not quite seeing what your career goals are, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to talk about your specific opportunities here, or if you have a question, toss it into the Q&A. All right, talking a little bit more about what we offer on campus. We do have 18 dining locations. We know being fed is an important part about coming to school. We have one main dining hall on campus called Sycamore Dining that was just renovated this past year to double in size. So it is now our only and sole dining hall on campus that students use their meal plans within. It's buffet style food. It's also a really nice place to go and study. And then we have different locations across campus as well. The most popular being our Commons, which is where we have our chain food restaurants, but we also have cafes and our different academic buildings. So whether you're just stopping in to grab a bite to eat, or maybe you're actually wanting to sit down and have a meal, you've got lots of options across campus to kind of do so. We have over 200 student organizations. So as you're thinking about that extra piece of getting involved on campus, these kind of spread over 3 specific categories. We have our more traditional collegiate organizations like Fraternity and Sorority Life, Student Government Association. We have an organization called Union Board that does a lot of our different events across campus. We have our Residence Hall Association, similar organizations that you'll find across different universities. We've got our interest-based organizations that are things like our intramural and club sports, or our knitting club, or our video games club, or our bicycle club. So a lot of more the hobbies and your different interests. And then we have our professional and academic organizations as well. So almost all of our programs have some type of either national organization that we have a collegiate chapter with, or it's a program that we've made here for those students. So you have an opportunity to not only get involved with students who have similar interests, but maybe some students that are in the same major as you, and kind of make some connections, do some networking with our different alumni in that area as well. We are a Division I institution with about 15 different Division I sports. We play in the Missouri Valley Conference, and outside of the COVID context, when we allow spectators at our games, we actually allow all of our students to go to those athletic events for free. So if we have a home game, our Sycamores are there cheering on our athletes. In fact, our biggest student organization is called the Forest, and that is what our cheer block is. Our mascot is Sycamore Sam. If you don't know what Sycamore Sam looks like, definitely give him a Google. It's a pretty cool mascot, and we try to build as much pride into our institution as we can. All right, I'm going to switch gears and talk a little bit more about scholarships, costs, and then admissions, and then we'll bring our students in to kind of talk a little bit more about Indiana State and their perspective. We do offer $16 million in scholarships. A lot of big part about coming to school is making sure it's affordable, and half of that is scholarships, and the other half of that, which I'm sure you hear a lot of people say, is filling out the FAFSA. You can do that as soon as today. It opened October 1st. But specifically at Indiana State, we do offer both geographically based and merit-based scholarships. Our merit-based awards are starting at a 3.25 GPA and go up from there. We can definitely talk specific scholarships if you all have questions, but that website at the very bottom, indstate.edu/scholarships, lists out all of our awards and how to apply. A lot of our awards you apply automatically by applying to Indiana State. So definitely check those out as you're looking at scholarships. To talk specifically about how much Indiana State's cost, we've got all of our costs breaking out here, but I'm going to focus on that in-state rate. We are $9,186 for tuition, so that's both fall and spring, taking classes, and then our room and board, so eating and living on campus, is about $11,016. We have a recreation center and health fee that we build into our tuition as well, and that is to help pay for the different programs that we do across campus that concern mental health and physical health, as well as get you access to our recreation center. And then that totals to about $20,482. That, of course, is before you start thinking about scholarships and financial aid, but that would be the ticket price to come to Indiana State. There's some extra fees like books and that kind of thing that we don't build into that fee. So you want to think about that, but to come to Indiana State, we're about $20,482. All right. So I'm going to spend a couple seconds on this page, and then I'll get our students in here. I know we've got a question in there that I'll get to in just a moment. So number one, this is kind of the roadmap to Indiana State, is to apply online at indstate.edu/apply. Our application is super simple. It takes maybe 15 minutes to complete, and the only thing you need to complete your application is a high school transcript. So sending us a transcript as soon as you complete it. We're completely test optional, which really just means we're not looking at our SAT and ACT scores for our admissions decision. So you don't have to send it to us. It can help qualify you for scholarships, but it won't affect your admissions decision. So we're pretty much strictly looking for a 2.5 GPA on a 4.0 scale, and that you're graduating with an Indiana 440 diploma or equivalent. Number two, schedule a campus visit. You would see me at the front desk if you did. We are offering both on-campus visits and virtual visits. They happen throughout the week, and then on Fridays, we do a special visit called Fridays at State that go over different student experiences across campus. Friday, we have our Fridays with Honors, which is a cool event where you hear about our honors college, but we highlight areas like fraternity and sorority life, our campus life and student organizations, wellness on campus, and a lot of other really cool topics. 3 and 4 talk specifically about the money aspect of coming to school, filling out the FAFSA, and then looking for those scholarships. If you want to talk scholarships with us, I encourage you to reach out to us one-on-one. We love having that kind of conversation with our students. And then once you are accepted, and kind of how you let us know you want to come to Indiana State is step number 5. So as early as December, you can pay your enrollment deposit, which is $100 down on your education. It's not an extra fee. It's actually just paying a little bit of your tuition up front and letting us know that you're coming to Indiana State. You can do that as early as December. That does not mean you have to do it in December. We give you the entire spring semester to kind of decide. We know you're probably looking at some other institutions, and we want to make sure that you're making the most informed decision on where you want to go to school. So as early as December, you can fill that out. Once you've paid that $100 fee, you get to sign up for our state startup programs, which is our orientation programs, as well as fill out your housing application. So that is how you get placed in our residence halls and get signed up to get your classes and all that good stuff during state startup. We have a priority deadline or a priority date of May 1st. It's not a hard deadline. It's just our suggestion of that's a good time to get your enrollment deposit paid and signed up for state startup and your housing application done so that you have everything in line for our June state startup programs. We will work with students past that date. That's just a kind of good date to plan for. All right. I know we have one question. I'm going to use my computer in here to kind of hop in just to see if I can answer it now. I will go ahead and answer these. as they kind of come through. So I'm going to go grab our students and let them introduce themselves, and then we'll get started with the Q&A piece. So if you could just give me one moment. All right. So I've got two students with us today as well. I'm going to answer a couple of questions through the Q&A while they introduce themselves. So Mika and Holly, if you just want to say your name, your major, your hometown, and why you chose Indiana State.
Okay, I'll go. Hi, my name is Mika. I'm a sophomore here at Indiana State. I'm originally from Indianapolis. I am currently majoring in biology, double minoring in criminology and forensic sciences. Why'd you choose Indiana State? Why'd I choose Indiana State? Let's see. Really, it came down to nickels and dimes, and I know that's not really the answer a lot of people want to hear. But they gave me a tuition-based scholarship, so I'm able to graduate with no debt with the help of my parents. So it was a no-brainer for me and my family.
Hi, I'm Holly. I am a sophomore music education major here. I'm from Wabash, Indiana, which is about 3 hours away from Indiana State. And I chose to come to Indiana State, just like Mika just said. They offered me a ton of scholarship money, and I'm not going to be paying too much back when I get out of college, and so that's a pretty cool thing. And then the music education program here is one of the best in the state, so it kind of worked out really well for me.
Oh yes, our crime lab is the best. I love it. I'm in there every day.
All right. Well, we'll open it up to you all that are on our call. If you have questions, type them into the Q&A, and we'll kind of go from there. But thank you, Holly and Mika, for kind of telling us a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
See if we get in. All right. What is it like to live on campus?
Living on campus has a lot of benefits. I lived in Mills Hall, which is part of the Four Towers, which is also connected to our dining hall. So I wasn't too far away from food. I like living on campus because I was able to really roll out of bed and go to class. Maybe like throw on some makeup, brush teeth, put up my hair, stuff like that. But I wasn't too far away from my classes. It wasn't more than probably like a 5-minute walk. I liked living on campus a lot. I loved living in Mills. It was a great experience for me. And I honestly kind of wish I was back in Mills, if I had to be honest. But I think living on campus definitely has more benefits than living off campus.
Yeah, it is really, really convenient to live on campus. I lived in one of the towers, Cromwell, and now I'm living in Hines, which is connected to the student union. And it's just really convenient to be like right in the middle of where all the classes are, because I don't know, it's a time saver.
Yeah,
too, but it's nice.
Let me see. What is it like to work on campus?
So I think Holly and I can agree. We love our jobs, and we're not just saying that because our boss is in the room, but we really do love our jobs. It's amazing to work on campus. I would recommend it for any student out there to work on campus. The benefit is that you are a student first. You are able to schedule your work hours around your class schedule. And I think it's one of the better things about being like a student worker. You definitely have like discipline, responsibilities, and stuff like that. If you want to like continue moving up within your job, if that's even a possibility within your job, but definitely has benefits of like just being able to be a student first. So
I would agree with everything you just said. Like,
What is the longest walk to class that you've taken?
5 minutes.
So I'm a fast walker. I can, if they say it's 10 minutes from one end of campus to the other, I could probably make it in 4. And that's just me personally. But yeah.
Yeah, I had a class that was literally like, if campus is a big square, I would start here and I would have to go to the other point, and that was like maybe 8 minutes if I was like taking my time. Like, you won't be late for anything unless you like don't manage your time wisely.
You have to like try to be late.
Really.
Right. How is the food on campus, and what is your favorite place to eat?
The food on campus is really, really good, in my humble opinion. Our dining hall like serves 8 million things a day. They have several different types of food lines that are always open. There's a made-to-order breakfast, burrito, and omelet line, and that's personally my favorite line in the whole cafeteria or dining hall. Sorry.
That's the best part.
But then the Commons does have a lot of great places as well, like George's. You can't go wrong with George's.
I think breakfast is like ISU's best meal. Part of that is probably because I hadn't eaten for like 12 hours beforehand, but the omelet station is by far my favorite thing about our dining hall. I absolutely love an omelet. I haven't had a bad omelet there, so that's great. When it comes to our student union, I would definitely say George's. I'm a breakfast type of person, so we do have Einstein's on campus, so that's really nice and very convenient for me on like my early mornings. And I think dinner is a really good option for campus within our dining hall because we do have like one part of our dining hall that's like a smokehouse section. So they'll have like pulled pork, ribs, that type of stuff. And I will be completely honest, I'm not like a ribs type of person. That's not me. But I eat the ribs here, so I hope my mom doesn't see this because she would be so upset. But that's the truth. So.
Have you made a lot of friends? And kind of talk about how you made those friends.
You can go first.
Oh, okay. So I'm a music major here in Indiana State, like I mentioned, and I do the marching band here, which meant I got to move in a week early to all of my classes. And so I moved in before most of the student body moved in, and we had a whole week of just band camp, of getting to know everyone, especially in my program specifically. And so I made a lot of my friends through that. And there are other programs that let you move into campus early too, and that's a really cool thing to check out if you're interested in it. But I definitely got to meet a lot of my friends during that week, and it was a really good thing.
So I was like Holly, I was part of a program called Project Success that was organized by Stephanie Piercy, and I was able to come to college a week early. I was really able to get to know my roommate, and we were able to kind of form our own little circle within our program. So that was really nice. We still meet up on occasion. I have made quite a few friends. I like to keep my circle small, me personally, just because I was a really big social butterfly in high school, and that kind of took an effect on my education and my grades and stuff like that. So I had to find a balance. So coming to college, I definitely kept my circle a little small. I've expanded it after, a couple of semesters and everything like that. But me and my friends were actually going skating after this. So,
Oh, that's so fun.
I know, right? I'm really excited. So I would definitely say like I made quite a good group of friends. Maybe not a lot of friends, but definitely a good, reliable, dependable group.
How is the atmosphere? Does the campus have an accepting vibe, in your opinion?
Of course we do. Sorry. No, our campus is such a diverse culture here, and that's a really cool thing to see. But like, I think that only helps our sense of community. I would say, like,
Yeah.
our campus is. I'm sorry. I really love our campus just because everyone is so accepting, and it's just a really good place to be, in my opinion.
I've never gotten like a bad vibe from our campus. Everyone is super welcoming. Everyone's like super understanding. And I honestly couldn't have asked for a better like environment to be in away from home, because I know that's like not everybody's like ability to adapt to college and stuff like that. So definitely being away from home, it gives you that sense of you belong here even though you may not be from here.
What was your favorite part about living in our residence halls?
Free laundry? No.
We do have free laundry, so I lived in Mills Hall, so I would definitely say just like the new renovations to it. The four towers are like 2 or 3 years old, so being able to be in a new like residence hall as a freshman is not very common. But I loved living in Mills. We did have like study lounges and stuff like that on each floor, so I was in those for roughly a good 5 or 6 hours every night. So I utilized those quite a bit.
So we have a question about how Indiana State is handling COVID. If you all want to talk about how your semester kind of changed with COVID and kind of the
We were just
restrictions.
talking about this.
Oh, we
Yeah.
were.
Definitely let us know.
So campus, I believe, like Indiana State, we're handling COVID very well, in my opinion, and we're taking it very seriously. I accidentally got quarantined my second week here this semester, so that was a fun experience for me. But from what I've seen and like what I've seen other people experience, the teachers are so understanding, and like your attendance, like you're not gonna get in trouble for missing a class due to COVID, and they work with you to make sure you don't fall behind and that you're still learning. And like, I don't know, it's just been a very good thing in the midst of everything bad going along with COVID. So that's my experience.
My experience is it's well. I I don't mean that to sound bad. It's not bad. I just say like it's a little bit challenging because some of our classes are online, some of our classes are in person, and then I do have 2 classes that we consider hybrid, so you only meet on certain days throughout the week. It gets a little confusing if your class is divided up between groups. So if you're in group A, you only meet on Mondays. If you're in group B, you meet on Fridays, and then Wednesday is kind of not a free-for-all, but it's an online activity that you have to complete. And I think for me, it's a little bit challenging because sometimes my professors will mix up the days or get the groups on different days and stuff like that. I have labs personally, so as a science major, I do have labs still. I meet every other week, so that is a little bit confusing, especially just recently since we had fall break. So I actually didn't meet for my lab this week when I was supposed to, and I'm actually supposed to go next week. My physics class, they're completely online, both my lecture and my lab, and that is a whole challenge and some change that I will not dive into. But just so you know, like students will have those challenges, but I do think Indiana State is handling it very, very well given the circumstances.
What is some advice you have for an incoming freshman?
You can go 'cause I'm really
Oh, my favorite piece of advice is make friends with the people in your major. Those are the people that you can text at like midnight being like, hey, I don't understand this problem. Can you walk me through it? So like that means like the people in your year and the upperclassmen, because they already have been through what you're going through, and so they can kind of help you. And it's a really cool thing.
So my advice to incoming freshmen was a piece of advice that I got my junior year when I was a summer scholar at a different university. So I was told to get used to being alone. I know that's not what a lot of people want to hear, but it's just given the circumstances, you definitely want to take time for yourself. You don't want to stretch yourself too thin. You don't want to be super clingy to your friends, because it's not like high school where you may have been on the football team, or you may have been, you know, the mathlete of your grade or whatever. You aren't always going to be surrounded by your friends. So kind of get used to kind of being by yourself. Understand that those moments by yourself are not to be considered boring or lonely or anything like that. Consider them moments of peace. Consider them moments of improvement. So if you want to meditate, more than welcome to do that. If you want to kind of reflect, journal, do something that kind of eases your mind, that allows you to reset and be able to go back out into the world and just kind of reevaluate your friendships and stuff like that and make new friends in the process.
I have a follow-up question for Mika in here. What is your favorite part about doing labs, and what is it like?
My favorite part is definitely interacting with a lot of the equipment. So we do have a lot of state-of-the-art equipment to use, which I think is really awesome, especially since ISU is a research facility, and it's mostly going to only be used by graduate assistants and graduate students. But for it to be available for undergrad is really amazing. So I'm able to work with a lot of microscopes that your high school probably doesn't even know exist or doesn't even use or anything like that. I've enjoyed it, especially my freshman year when I was taking my biology course. It was super fun. I got to learn a lot about like eyesight and eye color and color blindness, which I've kind of grown to love a little bit just because I have friends that are colorblind. So it's kind of interesting for them to say like purple is green or something like that. This year is a little bit different with my labs. I personally don't enjoy my physics lab being online. I just think it's a little hard and difficult to kind of measure everything that you're supposed to measure and convert and everything like that. But honestly, if it was in person, I think I'd enjoy it a lot more. But definitely last year, I enjoyed my lab quite a bit. So.
All right. Can you all talk about the academic support and tutoring that we have available?
Tutoring is available for literally everything, and it's free, so use it.
We have a variety of classes that have what's called supplemental instruction. I know a lot of like our nursing major courses, they have supplemental instructors. So I highly encourage for nursing majors to utilize those. Tutoring is free on campus, so that is a major, major plus. And we do offer tutoring in literally everything. So, yeah.
Also, your professors are really, really accessible, and like they want people to come and visit them when like they're not understanding what was discussed in class. So like your professors also are a great resource to use.
Can you all talk about some of the student organizations that you're involved in?
Of course.
Mm-hmm. So I'm involved in Pre-Physician Assistant Association, which is kind of preparing me for a potential future career. I'm only a sophomore, so I'm still figuring it out. But it's something that I definitely want to pursue interest in. And if I don't like it, at least I can say that I tried. So yeah, I'm in National Society of Leadership and Success, and I'm in Honors College. I don't know. I have a lot of things, but I can't remember.
I'm involved with a sorority called Sigma Alpha Iota, and that's a music sorority here on campus. And so a really cool thing about being in a music sorority as a music major, aspiring to be a choir teacher, is that just helps me build connections and like helps me network and will help me in the future when I'm trying to get a job. So that's a cool thing. I'm involved with the Marching Sycamores, and I'm the assistant uniform manager for that. And that's just a fun thing that like, it's something I'm interested in, so it's just a fun thing to do. So definitely there's a lot of stuff to be joining here, and there's definitely going to be at least one thing that's like, hey, I really like to do that, and there's probably a club for it. So it's a pretty cool thing.
how much time do you spend on work outside of the classroom, including like just studying, not just assignments?
A lot.
More than I like to admit.
Today alone, I've spent about 2 hours doing homework, but I've gotten my homework done. So,
Good for you.
oh, thank you.
For me, I think a lot of it has to do with me going to a college prep high school. So I went to Rebuff Jesuit, and I mostly was trained, I guess, to study quite a bit. I will say for my future college prep students, college looks like a piece of cake compared to what you might be going through right now. I will say that it gets easier if you go to a college prep school. It gets easier, I promise. But I typically spend roughly maybe 3 or 4 hours on just like doing homework and assignments and stuff like that, and then roughly 6 hours after that just plain studying. So I roughly spend about 10 hours, a good chunk of my day, studying, doing work. I make sure to include some nap time as well. So
We do have a question about honors in here, so I'm going to go ahead and run through the requirements to be an honors, and then I know Mika, you're an honors student. You want to talk a little bit about the benefits you see as a student. To be in our honors program, you have to have one of 3 requirements: a 3.7 GPA on a 4.0 scale, a 1170 SAT or 24 ACT, or your top 10% of your class. If you have one of those 3 requirements, you can apply to be in our honors program. There's a question on our application to Indiana State asking if you're interested in honors. If you meet those requirements, you're automatically accepted into it. So it's definitely a cool opportunity. I'm an honors college graduate, but I'll turn it over to Mika to maybe give us a little context of the benefits of a current student.
yes, so I applied to the honors college, and roughly around this time last year, I didn't apply as soon as I graduated, or I didn't like check the box on my application. I just knew I wasn't within those requirements. I was kind of on the border a little bit with my GPA, but overall, I just didn't check the box. So I applied roughly, like I said, this time last year, and I got accepted. I started my honors course, or like my honors track, the following semester, studying the movies of, I believe it was 1982. So I worked with Mr. Bird, Mr. Matthew Bird, and he is amazing. Oh my gosh. I love that class. It was so much fun. I basically just watched movies, analyzed them, and I mean, it felt like it was my dream career, honestly. But our honors college, our honors program is amazing. Dr. Beerley is the dean of the college. And so he is more than an amazing, phenomenal man. He is so knowledgeable. I highly suggest, if you are interested, even in the slightest, of applying to honors college, definitely get into contact with him. He is more than willing to work with you and kind of set you on the path of eventually getting into honors college if you feel like you won't get in right off the bat, which I kind of wish I knew, but like I said, I'm here now, so that's all that really matters. The benefit, I guess, would be that you take 4 honors classes, so they're labeled GH. So GH 101, 201, 301, and 401. 401 is considered your thesis, so you will probably take that your senior year. It's kind of like a thesis project that kind of correlates with your major, especially. So definitely align it with that. And you take those 4 classes throughout your 4 years here, and it knocks out 6 of your foundational study classes. So then you won't have to take, I forget, it's like Psych 101 or sociology or stuff like that. So I was able to do that, even though I still took Psych 101 because my major required us to have it as a foundational studies course. I was still able to get that knowledge, and I'm still on the right track for honors and everything like that. You are able to either pick a track. There's like 4 different ones, I believe. You can do honors conversion. You can do a civic leadership minor. You can do a language study, so you can minor in like Spanish or Latin, anything like that. And you can also do a immersion experience, which is you study abroad for either like a week or a semester. In my case, I hope to go for a whole year, but we'll see. So yeah, but I found it beneficial, especially when I was planning on double majoring, and it kind of put me ahead in most of my classes, so that was great.
So we have about 5 minutes left. We have one more question sitting in our queue. Could you all tell me your favorite tradition at Indiana State?
Running through the fountain.
Okay, I guess I can't use that one.
I mean, you can.
A pretty cool thing, I think, or tradition that we do is like the freshman clementation. Is that what it's called? Yeah. And that's basically, they get all the freshmen together and you get to sit through a little welcome ceremony, and it's really cute. And then you get to march through the arch, and it's just a cool way to start the school year. And if you come here, you can find out more about it.
Do you, Mika or Holly, have anything else you would like to tell a student who's looking at Indiana State for their future education?
Just do it. If you're even the slightest bit interested, just do it.
So I mean, Indiana State was like my backup school. Not gonna admit that in front of my boss, but it was. But like, you can actually log on to the My ISU portal early and start applying for scholarships that kind of add up, and they sort of pay for your education. So might want to look into that.
All right, well, thank you both, and thank you for everyone for joining us. That is kind of the end. If you have any more specific questions, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to chat.
Thank you so much, Indiana State University. Real quick, before everyone logs off, I want to share a couple of closing things. When you shut down when you log off, excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied. When you log off, you will see a quick survey with 4 questions. Please complete that survey. Also, again, for more sessions, definitely visit the Indiana Association for College Admission Counseling website. You will see that website on the screen, inacac.org/virtual college exploration. You will see the schedule of the sessions that are coming up the rest of this week as well as next week. And then as a reminder, the sessions have all been recorded, so you'll be able to access those recordings at the conclusion of our program on October the 22nd. So thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful evening.